Hi Quilty friends, welcome back. So today I'm going to share with you 10 items that you can find at your local hardware store that will help you out with your quilting. The first item is blue tape. You can use this as a seam allowance guide on your sewing machine. You can then also use it to help tape the various layers of your quilt down when you're getting ready to baste it to hold everything into place. The next item is a really big long metal ruler, and this is helpful when it comes time to square up your quilt top. The next item is a hammer. A hammer, you're like, what? Well, yeah, if you're getting really frustrated with your quilt block, yeah, you could use a hammer. But what you would use it for is, and I did a demonstration in my other video, and I'll put a link to it up here. But if you've got a whole bunch of seams coming together here in the middle like this block, you would just spritz that joint, and then you would tap it with your hammer. And that helps that joint lay a little bit flatter. So a hammer is a really good thing to have. The next item is my workbench. I actually picked this workbench up at Home Depot here in the United States, but I'm sure other hardware stores around the world would have something similar or some type of workbench setup that you could use. I really like this one. The ones at Home Depot come in different sizes. They actually go up and down. They have two really long drawers, and I really like this. So a workbench at your local hardware store is a great thing to use for a work surface in your quilt room. The other item that you can get at a hardware store is big foam boards. A lot of quilters will use these for their design boards, like the one I have back here. I used some old cardboard that my parents had gotten from a bathroom cabinet that they got. But you can go to your local hardware store and get these big foam boards. And don't be intimidated if you can see how big they are in this video. It's really light and they're really easy to cut, and you just kind of turn them so that they're only 4 feet high then, but then they come in different lengths, and you can cut it down to whatever size is going to fit in your quilt studio. And because they're so light, like my cardboard one here, you can just I used command strips, the Velcro ones. I just put a whole bunch of them on the back and I put it up on the wall. So the foam boards is something to check out at your local hardware store if you want to make your own design board in your quilt studio. The next one are paintbrushes. Well, what are you using a paintbrush for? I don't personally use this, but I have a quilt friend and they have a paintbrush and they use it to help clean out the lint on their sewing machine. Now, I know a lot of sewing machines come with little lint brushes, but if you want something a little bit more substantial, or even, we get a lot of quilt dust in our quilt rooms, these are good, to kind of help tidy things up in your space. So paintbrushes is another good thing you can pick up. The other item is a magnetic bowl. Now, you can get magnetic pin cushions like at your local quilt shop or online, but in the hardware store, they have these magnetic bowls. I've got this one here. It's a 5.5-inch bowl. I've seen them in smaller sizes as well, so you could check that out. But this is just really practical and handy, and you can put your pins or your clips in this magnetic bowl. Now, the other thing that I've been on the lookout for is hooks. And I wanted a magnetic hook because my workbench has metal on the sides and I wanted something to help hold my rulers up. So I got this metal hook and I can just put it on the side of my workbench and I hang my rulers there. But you could also, I've seen hardware stores locally here in the United States, you can pick up command hooks or just general hardware hooks to put in your quilt room to help hang rulers or whatever supplies that you have. The other item that you can pick up at your hardware store is sandpaper. Now, what quilters will use sandpaper for is when you need to trace a pattern onto your fabric, you will lay that on top of the sandpaper and then lay it on here, and that keeps the fabric from moving while you're tracing the pattern onto the fabric. Now, a lot of quilters will mount this like on a small board. I'm sure if you had something like a really sturdy piece of cardboard or something like that, that would work as well. So the last item that you can get at your local hardware store would be a tool bag. Now, this is my legitimate tool bag for the house. I actually have one that I made for my quilting supplies. But if you're in need of one, these are really nice. I would, if I didn't have that, I would certainly consider using just a basic tool bag. They're very sturdy and they're a good size and they come in different shapes. But it's a basic, practical item. But the other item in that category is here in the United States, Lowe's is celebrating their 25th anniversary of Cobalt with these cute mini toolboxes. Now, I'm sure there are other like mini little toolboxes that you can find maybe at your local hardware store. But this one has like a little top that opens up and it's got drawers and they come in different colors. I wanted pink, so I got a pink one, but I've seen them in blue, white, black, and lime green. And these are really cute to have, and it looks really cute in my quilt room. And I have a bunch of ideas about how I'm gonna kind of trick this out a little bit to make it a little bit more functional. So hopefully I'll be able to share that with you in a future video. But these are really cute to have. So I hope that gave you some ideas. But for now, I wish you well, and most of all, be quilty.
I've been feeling so small.